Update. Significant others. 31 female. Best friend. 30 male. Takes every possible chance to bully me, 33 male, in front of my significant other. Today, he pulled me aside and said, I'm not good enough for my significant other, and the thought of us together disgusts him. Me and my significant other have been dating since before COVID. We started dating a few weeks before pandemic stuff happened, so over 3 years now. We have been super happy together and got a place together at the start of the year. She has a friend. Let's call him John. They have been best friends since they were kids. He is very openly gay and is married to his husband. I met John once before the pandemic. He and his husband joined us on our second date. It was only recently that he was actually around and tried to do stuff with us and his husband. Honestly, I never liked John. He has always been someone who demands everyone pays attention to him. If you have an interesting story, he will constantly try to interrupt you and try to tell his own thing that always is much cooler. If he cannot get one up on you, he will immediately try to change the topic or someone calls him out on his bullshit. He has always been somewhat hostile to me to the point where I never really liked it. The last few months, he has been pretty much just straight up, started bullying me, criticizing everything from my clothes to my appearance to even things I like. The last week it got super fucking bad when both me and my significant other mentioned we are going on vacation to Japan for a month, something we both wanted to do. John was apparently really hurt by it. Apparently him and my significant other talked about that for years, but never did it due to COVID. I tried to be nice and suggested him and his partner come with us, and he told me he wouldn't ever want to go anywhere and be seen with a loser like me. Okay. Tonight was one of our mutual friends' birthdays, and John showed up after being invited by my significant other. At one point in the night, he pulled me aside when I went to the bathroom and spent 5 minutes throwing an insane rant at me. Everything from I am disgusting, I am garbage. Then he outright told me to break up with my significant other or he would do it for me because our relationship disgusts him. I have told my significant other multiple times like, hey, can you tell John to cool it? I don't like this. I don't want to be around him. John immediately denies everything I say he said. He also only does it when my significant other is not present. Tonight I told her word for word what happened, and she just said she doesn't believe me at all. She has known him for a quarter of a century, and she has never seen anything like that. So I asked if she thought I was lying, and she said I was just embellishing what he was saying, and she can tell he is unhappy about our relationship, but that doesn't change anything for her. She loves me, and that is that. Honestly, I feel hurt. I feel she is taking his side always, and it just makes me feel like shit. I don't know if I can continue this relationship. It just feels so stupid. Edit. Sorry, I just woke up, trying to read everything. Also, to clarify something, my reaction is generally to be extremely nice and just take it on the chin. All of her other friends love me, and some of them have mentioned they really dislike John. I need to leave for work, but I'm going to try talking to her one final time, and if that fails, try to record it. Edit 2. Just before I run to work, thank you all for taking the time out of your day to give me advice. Thank you. My reaction for OP. Oh, sounds like John has it in for you, and your significant other can't or won't see your side. I know what I'd do. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Commenter 1. And she just said she doesn't believe me at all. That's not an appropriate answer. She can tell he is unhappy about our relationship, but that doesn't change anything for her. She loves me, and that is that. Has she told him this? I don't really know if I can continue this relationship. It just feels so stupid. That's totally understandable. By not acting on this, your partner is worsening the conflict and allowing you to not feel heard. If she can't trust you on this, why are you in a relationship at all? Original post. She has made it very abundantly clear that we are a couple multiple times. However, I don't know if those exact words were said to John. Honestly, if it wasn't for this issue, our relationship would basically be perfect, which is why this hurts so much. Commenter 2. Just because he doesn't want to shag her doesn't mean he's not jealous that someone else is taking up her time. Unless there's something you're not telling us. It sounds like he's annoyed that his bestie is giving time and attention to someone who's not him. Has he ever approved of any of her relationships? Original post. The only previous relationship she had was an abusive one, and he played a big part of getting her out of that relationship, according to her. Also, yeah, I can see that. When I finally moved back recently, apparently he kept going on and trying to make plans with my significant other almost every single night, and that never happened as she works a fairly stressful job now. Commenter 3. Record him on your phone or get a recorder that can fit in your pocket. Stand up to him. Comments on your clothes. I didn't ask your opinion. Says you are scum. Well, girlfriend likes me. That's all that matters. That's my advice. Stand up and record. Original post. Thanks. I was going to try recording. I have tried to reply back and I've even got a few laughs from her friends, but he just tends to get even worse and it becomes a massive annoyance. He acts like a child and it drives me mad. Commenter 4. One thing I don't understand. Why have you put up with this for so long? The second time he trash talked you, I would have told him to fuck off. And every subsequent time after that he tried to talk to you alone, I would have just walked away. Why did you engage? Why don't you talk to John's partner? Tell him what's been happening. Ask him if John is really gay, or maybe he's bisexual and has carried a torch for your girlfriend. If he wants to fuck around with your relationship, you can fuck around with his. As for your girlfriend, I don't know. On the one hand, if you break up, John wins. But on the other hand, if there is a future in a relationship where your girlfriend does not have your back, the petty in me would get a voice recorder, record him trash talking you, play it back to your girlfriend saying, "That's why you should have believed me, we're done," and then walk away and leave them all to sort out their shit. Sorry, I probably haven't been of much help. At the least, don't engage with John anymore. Any time the two of you are left alone, just walk away. Whatever else you decide, good luck. Original post. Generally, I just ignore him when he does it. However, when he threw all that shade at me, he was literally blocking the hallway, preventing me from passing. I am a small guy. John is a big guy. Why don't you talk to John's partner? His partner is, frankly, just as bad as he is, even worse in some regards. All he ever does is put people down. Any comment you say to him, he treats it as a slight. Apparently he was livid that my significant other made a suggestion for the look of their new place. My significant other and him don't really get along. Going to try to record him. Now for the update. Update. I got a lot of good advice, so thank you all. Unfortunately, it does not have a good ending. I tried to talk to my significant other. I sat down with her and tried to have a serious conversation with her. I got him to stupidly rant about how much he thinks I'm garbage over WhatsApp. He is apparently not racist, but his reasoning is. I am nowhere near attractive enough, apparently, for her. I am batting way above my league. And the only reason she is with me is pity. My career as a software developer contributes absolutely nothing to mankind. It gives me a better than everyone attitude. I am painfully boring, and just being around him makes him want to assault me physically. My voice is unbearably grating on him. I made a few comments explaining how petty that sounds, and he lost it over WhatsApp. I even got some of her friends to comment and say they don't like to be around John. One of her friends ranted to me about John, saying he tried to make her destination wedding about him and his husband. Today I sat down with her, explained how I felt, and showed her the conversation and the comments. I went with the angle of, I don't want you to cut your best friend out of your life. I just don't want to be around this person at all, thinking it would be diplomatic. She took it very poorly and accused me of being manipulative by egging him on in the conversation. I said, "What's your problem with me?" She said, "I am being extremely manipulative, and I am doing what her ex tried to do by controlling who she can be friends with." She told me she doesn't want to be around me and needs space and has decided to go stay with some family while she sorts out her feelings. This evening she messaged me and said our relationship is over and she will collect her stuff when she calms down. She doesn't want to discuss it as her decision is final. I am in shock right now. On top of that, it seems like she cut ties with a bunch of her friends who supported me. I don't understand her reaction at all. I just feel devastated. Part of me just wishes I kept my mouth shut, but I just cannot take being bullied and being ignored by someone who is supposed to love me. I feel lost and hurt, I guess. So sorry, but thank you for all the nice comments. Story 2. Am I wrong for refusing to help my brother after his wife blabbed about my financial situation? A few years ago, I won a lottery and became set for many lives over. Even though my name and winnings were public records, I worked hard to keep it a secret. For the most part, it worked. After verifying my winnings and setting up a trust, I told my family. My plan was to basically help each of my 3 brothers and my parents, depending on their needs. My brother Chris and his wife Alice had 3 kids, and I offered to pay for a down payment on a house they wanted. As crazy as it sounds, I was more broke the first year of winning than the year before I won, because I was helping my family out. I had one rule for anyone who took money from me: don't tell anyone about my money. Well, Chris and Alice did for clout, and that unleashed a lot of people bombarding me with money requests. These were friends of theirs, friends of theirs, in-laws, etc. Like my brother's brother-in-law asked me to pay for a wedding in St. Lucia because his fiancée wanted one, and I met the guy twice in 9 years. Though this happened in 2021, people still bother me constantly for money. I was pissed and cut my brother off. This led to a rift in the family, and I largely became estranged from them. It was unfortunate because I was very close to my nephews and wanted to spoil them. Last week, my brother emailed me and said Chris has been sick all year and is bedridden and gets specialized care, something to do with breathing. I said that was sad. He said that Chris and Alice were going to lose the house because Chris hasn't been working. They have 4 kids from age 4 to 15. I told him if he had something to say, then say it. He asked me if I'd help them out by paying their outstanding bills until they could get back on their feet. I said no, the money isn't the issue, it's my privacy. I had no idea if they would keep their mouths shut about my helping them. I get painted as a nice rich guy, and then I have 10 people bothering me with their problems. You help them once, they keep on coming back. It's very funny how people just happen to have financial emergencies when you're helping others out. The other problem is that if my brother does pass, then I don't want Alice getting a house that I paid 20% of. She and I don't get along, and she's the one who put my business out there. She was so certain that I'd take care of them that she didn't even bother to say thanks for the down payment on our dream house. How bad is their financial situation? Bad. I'd offer to help in other ways, but beggars want to be choosers and negotiate their charity. Edit. I am not setting up some sort of loan settlement with my brother and his wife. They don't have the means to pay me back and would see it as a sign of weakness. Ironically, the only other person who is against giving them money is my financial advisor. Sorry, I gave them $420,000 to buy a house and they managed to fuck that up. They live in a nicer house than I do. I don't live fancy, I don't own a Rolex, and my clothes have holes in them. I bought my furniture from Big Lots. My other reason for not helping is that I know for a fact that his wife wouldn't help me if the roles were reversed and would be less nice about it. I love my nephews, but I won't be blackmailed over them. When they come of age and reach out to me, then I'll be there for them. Now for the comments. Commenter 1. You are the a-hole. It doesn't matter if you were right or not, you still decided to rub salt in a metaphorical wound, even though he still went to the doctors with you, while you, still being somewhat sick, you were just being petty. That's not something that you do to someone that you care about. Commenter 2. You are the a-hole. It's your tone. You've mentioned that you're neurotic about food and that you're obsessed. This is a very annoying trait for a partner to have. This is your problem, not your husband's. That sounds like by your constant reminders and comments, you've made it his problem. You could just accept that you have an obsession instead of throwing it in his face all the time. It must be exhausting to be him, with you criticizing his food purchases, constantly reminding him to throw food or get a refund. If he doesn't want to eat it, he can take that decision on his own. You don't need to keep reminding him. Also, it sounds like most of the times he's fine. But the one time something goes wrong and he's sick, you jump in with, "I told you so." I'd be so irritated. If I'm sick, I want sympathy and understanding from my partner, not some useless superiority complex fueled by your neurosis. Your words, not mine. I feel bad for the dude. And all the not the a-hole judgments are so off base. Commenter 3. You are the a-hole. If you try to backseat cook while I was in the kitchen, I'd tell you to get lost or cook your own dinner. I'm sorry, but a stopped clock is right twice per day. If you always have food safety concerns, eventually someone's going to get a stomach bug in your presence. And that cannot excuse you trying to control what goes into someone else's body. He doesn't owe you eating only what you tell him is safe, and only cooking what you tell him is safe as well. If your assessment was broadly lining up with consensus, you can't wash food with bleach, you can't leave raw meat on the counter all day, and then expect to serve it for dinner, that sort of thing, I'd say you're within your rights to insist that shared meals at least get cooked to serve safe standards. But you haven't indicated that, and your fear is your own responsibility to manage, not his. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.